Every time I see you in the world, you always step to my girl.
Now Forza 6 is a big deal, and this is going to be based on the demo that came out. It's got a few like maps and tracks and stuff like that. But yeah, Forza 6 is a big deal. They come out once every couple of years, and it's basically the pinnacle of driving games. It's a huge deal for Xbox One. It's part of their huge like holiday lineup and their killer package for the Xbox One to try and sell it. Forza has always been a huge series, and when one comes around, it's a big deal. And this is their 10th anniversary, so this has got to be a huge culmination of everything they've done. A big celebration like Halo Reach, as everything comes together to make an incredible driving game. Did we get that? Did it live up to this hype, to this big celebration? Is it the 10-year anniversary special? Is it amazing? Is it, everything we want it to be? The perfect driving game? But see, put simply, Forza 6 is the best Forza game yet. It's the best feeling driving experience yet. But it's just not enough. It just doesn't do enough. And here's why. The game feels better than any Forza yet. The interior view has been tweaked just so ever so slightly, and braking and with the force feedback and driving and sense of speed, it all feels better than it's ever felt. A lot more grounded, a lot more, physics are a lot tighter and more realistic. It feels more realistic. The problem is, it doesn't feel that different from Forza 5. Everything has been tweaked just ever so slightly. It's just a tiny bit, but it didn't stop me from feeling like I'm just playing Forza 5. It just felt like Forza 5 to me. The tracks look the same, the graphics really aren't that much better, and the interior views are very similar. I don't know why people accept the interior views on this game when there are so many better interior views. I kind of feel like Turn 10 and slowly moving towards a more kind of realistic and exciting experience where everything in the cockpit's kind of moving and you feel like you're at a fast machine. I don't get this sense that, or this notion that they decided to completely do away with intense experience to make a kind of smoother game. And it feels smooth, but it also feels kind of slick and not as exciting. I don't feel like I'm driving a car. I feel like I'm moving this thing around the track. I want to feel like I'm in the racing seat. I don't. And I was hoping that with next gen, they would do this. They would work. We would get this incredible game where it's all of the things that make Forza great. The car designing. We get to tweak your car to make it whatever you want to be, and there's tons of them, and it's got a great RPG kind of element to it. We didn't. We still got this kind of slick, smooth, sacrificing gameplay for graphics. And that's still happening now. And the problem is, it's just so similar. I was expecting such a big event with the 10-year anniversary, such a huge experience. But night racing and rain is something that should have been in this series in the first place. It's been in games since the 90s. Why is it a big deal now? Yeah, they might have done it very well, but to be honest, it was done better in that PlayStation exclusive game, Drive Club. And why can't you shut this voice up? Who is it at 10 who thought, oh, I tell you what, this is what the fans want, a completely unskippable voice. It's a nice voice now, but why have we still got this unskippable, annoying voice that we just can't skip? I don't want to know. You're telling me I'm starting a race and I can't skip you. Oh, I listen to music when I play Forza because I know you want to listen to the roar of the engines, but I can't get away from the fact that it's faked. I don't want to just sit and look. She won't shut up. Just shut up. She doesn't shut up. She won't. And that's been plaguing Forza. And it's one of those things where you think it will stop after the first couple of races, and she just doesn't stop. And you have in the first race, there's force assists in this trend where they tried to make like a narrative before you get into a game which doesn't have a narrative. I don't understand why this is going on in Madden. It's going on in all the EA Sports games, and now we're getting in Forza, where you have to be part of like this cinematic narrative before you can actually get into the game. And all the assists are turned on. I think that's a bad move, to completely remove control of the car, basically to the point where you're just holding the right trigger and moving the car like as if it was an on the rails driving game. Oh, by the way, I suck at this game, before anyone said anything. I know I suck at it. I mean, it's been a long time since I played a driving game at all, and I've never been good at them. Except for Burnout, I'm really good at the Burnout games. Anyway, yeah, I feel like the assists do hold your hand far too much. There were points where I was following the racing line in the last race, and I swear it was moving for me onto the racing line. It just completely followed it as if it was, I don't know, a train on a track. It was too much hand-holding. But then again, you don't keep those assists off, because basically then you're just holding right trigger and going left and right. It defeats the purpose of, you know, all this tactical, the skill element, and it just, along with the physics, you don't feel like you're driving a car at all. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, the main hook of this game is that they have improved things every little bit, and I like the new menu, by the way. I think it's kind of slick and cool. But yeah, it feels more grounded. It's a better racing experience. But if you have Forza 5, you've got to question whether it's worth the extra purchase, whether it's worth the $60 or the £40 or £50 now. God's sake, it's so expensive. For essentially a very similar game that's just slightly better. I mean, yeah, driving does feel good, but to be honest, driving feels better in a game like Project Cars or something like that. And I don't really play Forza for the driving experience. I play it for kind of the RPG elements and the customization and things like that, or the features. And that's another thing. What if the game comes out with an incredible feature? I would say I wouldn't pre-order this game. I would wait to see if there's some kind of killer reason to get the game. If they say, well, hey, you can do this and that and this and that, and you're just like, whoa, man, I need to get this game. And it wouldn't surprise me. Turn 10 are very good. I like they're very innovative. You know, I like the driver tar stuff, and I liked the car football stuff in Forza 4 and things like that. I just feel like over the years, Forza has been it's been amazing for development. You know, Forza 2 was such a huge leap ahead of Forza 1 with like social features and things like that, and then Forza 3 came along and completely refined Forza 2. Such better graphics. They added the rewind feature, they improved on the social features, and it felt like a hub, and you know, you could go in there and trade with your friends and stuff like that, which you could in Forza 2, but it was just auction houses and things like that. It was so improved, and it just felt like such a better experience. They really innovated. And then Forza 4 came along, and they just took everything they had and they made it just such an experience. They worked on the sense of speed, they worked on the interior view, they added cool features, and they made it such a better game. And then Forza 5 came along, and it just felt like Forza 4 if it were X-Jam. They didn't get really too much development done, and now they're doing even less. Let's add rain and night, something that should have been in the series when it started. You know, and it just worries me that the development cycle, is just getting less and less and less and less, when it should be more and more and more and more. Maybe they're running out of ideas, maybe they're running out of space to innovate, but adding, you know, what feels like forced liveries to your cars is not development. It's just annoying. And adding a voice that you can't skip, that's just annoying. But hopefully they will develop it and come up with some incredible thing when the game comes out in a couple of weeks. Right now, judging by the demo, I wouldn't give this game too high a rate. If you haven't played a Forza game before, this game gets a 9 out of 10. Yeah, and that's without even playing the feature, because it does have really good driving mechanics, even though I do prefer them in other games. But if you've played other Forza games, I couldn't give this a high rating because it's just very familiar. I don't know.